it started out like really exciting because I was like, hey, I don't look like a weirdo. Like, I mean, like from a facial standpoint, like I thought I would look kind of ugly in one. And I don't hate it. But then what I discovered was as I was walking around, I was like, this is going to be so cool. People are going to see me and I'm going to be like, yeah. And then I found myself though being like, what are people thinking as I'm walking by and what are they wondering about me? Which was really, I mean, I guess the point of it is to kind of walk a mile in the shoes, so to speak. And, I had kind of thought that may happen before, but I hadn't ever really experienced it in this fashion. So it was really kind of confirmed how I thought it may feel, I guess.
Yeah. And so how did you feel wearing the hijab?
I mean, I feel really good wearing it. Like it's not uncomfortable at all. And you know, when people tell me I look good in it, of course that always helps. Then I feel more confident wearing it around. Yeah. So yeah, I did. It was weird. I felt a little bit of a need to explain it, which.
So what was the experience like for you?
I was worried, so this is going to sound weird, because she asked me to think about it while I was doing it, and I was really worried that I was going to get tacos on it when I was eating. But I kind of enjoyed wearing it because it kind of made me feel, this is going to sound weird, but kind of less exposed, and I felt like I was a little bit more, I don't know, I liked it. It was nice to feel that way.
And then, how did you feel wearing the hijab?
It was warm, and I don't know. I just kind of liked it because it felt, well, it gave me a little bit more personality too. It was like another way to tell about who I was.
How do you think this experience may or may not impact your interaction with female patients wearing the hijab?
I think it would make me more cognizant of having to like maneuver with it and not letting it fall off, because I found myself like, okay, like how do I put my coat on without like pulling on it or anything, or like right now my hair is like poking out around it, and how do I help, so how can I help them to not have that, like, you know, if I have to help them move in the hospital, how do I help them to make sure that they're able to keep it on and everything and keep everything the way it should be.
All right, Christina, so how did you feel wearing the hijab around campus?
Well, I guess I did feel a little awkward just because people know I don't normally wear this. You know, I had friends come, you know, laugh and actually told me it looked really good, that I should wear it more often and keep it on all day. But it is pretty comfortable because it is cold, and I can see maybe if it was really hot, it might actually do get hot. But yeah, it feels nice.
How do you feel like your interactions in the future may be impacted with maybe future Muslim patients after experiencing what they experience on a daily basis?
I guess just being respectful, as I would for all patients and their beliefs.
It's different. I thought it would be hotter than it is. I know I saw that was kind of the question that was asked, and it wasn't as hot as I had anticipated. I was a little worried about having food fall on it. I was expecting to get maybe looked at a little bit more than I did, and I actually didn't, or I didn't feel like I did anyway. So overall, it was good.
So how did you feel wearing the scarf?
That's an interesting question. You know, I was very aware of it, and I don't know if that's because I was self-conscious of what I thought people might think about me, or if it was just because of having, you know, you can kind of see it, and if it was just getting used to it. But it was just definitely something that I was aware that I had it there, and even though I only wore it for a little while, by the end, that part started to wear off a little bit.
It was interesting, I'm not gonna lie, at the beginning, because it's been many years since I did it, and I didn't know how people were gonna look at me, because they're not used to seeing me that way. But then I noticed people actually are pretty welcoming, and they're like, oh, have you always worn that? And so it's interesting to know that some people don't even notice that I don't. So it was interesting, plus it's comfy.
How do you think wearing hijab will impact your interactions with Muslim female patients in the future?
I'm pretty used to it just because of my own cultural background, but I think I am gonna have even more understanding for what they go.
What I do is, so there's a lot of different ways. What I do is I put it, then I fold the front.
What was the experience like for you?
I had a really good experience with this. I really enjoyed doing this. I like the way the hijab looks. I like the way that it makes me feel. So.
How do you feel like this experience may or may not impact your interaction with female patients who are wearing the hijab?
I feel like I have more of an understanding of how female Muslim patients feel. So this definitely would help me empathize more.
Oh, so there are different ways to get this on? Like,
This is a big one.
are you videotaping this?
Do you think this experience may or may not impact your interaction with female patients wearing the hijab?
What a good question. So I've always tried to be, very aware that this is something that I'm sure gets commented on a lot and in some not nice ways. And so I've kind of tried to just act like it's not there, kind of a thing. Because I felt uncomfortable like complimenting them when I thought they were like really beautiful. But now I feel a little like, that made me feel really good when I was walking around and someone told me I had a beautiful hijab on. So that's something that I may not be afraid to comment on in the future, which is really the next step in being culturally competent. Is I was at the step of being kind of culturally blind and pretending it's not there versus really seeing that it's there and celebrating it. So it's helping me progress into the next step.
I'm going to do the volumized one
Okay.
because I think it would look prettier.
My dad is a Muslim.
So this is one way to do it. Okay, love. So how did you feel wearing hijab on campus?
I don't feel different, but everybody noticed that something is different about me. Like when I walk down the hall, they be like, "Oh, that looks good on you." So it's kind of like they're not used to seeing me with it. So.
I swear.
Wow,
Yep.
that is beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
You'd never have to do your hair again.
I was wearing it when I was 10 and I'm 26, so it's been 16 years.
I've been wearing hijab since I was 10 years old, so it's been 13.
So I've been wearing it since I was 9 years old, so it's been 13 years.
I've been wearing hijab since I was 18 years old, so it's been 10 years.